And welcome back to Not Just Country and also the Fab Hype Show. I'm one half of the duo. This is Max Fab, and the hype man is on the cameras. Guess who I got in the room? Guess who I got in the studio? I got the world famous. You're world famous, right?
Depends on who you ask.
I got Joseph Wooten in the house today. What's going on, man?
Man, it's good to see you, Max.
Good to see you as well. It's been a minute. I think the last time that I know I ran into you, you was doing a gig out at the mall. But the last time we really saw each other was I think at the event Low Carter and Friends.
Yeah, Low Carter and Friends, absolutely.
You tore that Anita Baker song all to pieces, man. I YouTube that all the time, man. It's crazy. So what's going on, man? We hadn't talked to each other in a while. I mean, for those who don't know, what do you play?
I'm a keyboard player and a vocalist and a songwriter.
How many instruments do you play?
I play a little bit of drums, even less bass, tiny bit of guitar, but the only one that's worth mentioning is my keyboard playing.
When you walked in and you were changing, and so you put on the Sly Stone shirt, and then I got on Gil Scott. Is Sly a big influence on you?
Oh, Sly is probably my biggest influence. As a kid, I remember seeing him and being a keyboard player, kind of looking at him and going, "That's it. That's it." He was insightful, and he was cool, and the music was funky, and I just felt some musical kinship with him.
What do you know about the GHS though?
Well, Gil Scott Heron.
What do you know about the revolution?
The revolution will not be televised. I remember being a kid and feeling like I was young to actually know what he was talking about, but being able to feel that he was very impactful and that I should know what he was talking about. So
any Sly Stones or Gil Scotts out there today?
This is the way I feel about it. Well, that's a tough one, man. I know that when you look at like Elvis, like there's been plenty of Elvises afterwards. And I've heard, I think it was the artist Terrence Trent D'Arby who made the point that I remember. Terrence Trent said that like in that era, and I think that was back in the 90s when he said it, that he said Michael Jackson was kind of like the new Elvis.
Okay.
And he said that like Springsteen was like the new Bob Dylan, and Prince was maybe like the new Little Richard.
Okay, I can see that.
But in my opinion, I don't see any new Sly Stone. Like you've heard when you listen to singers, you hear people that like you still hear male vocalists still doing Sam Cooke, right? The vocal acrobats are still doing Sam Cooke, and you hear like all the new school singers, they're singing out of the Whitney school, and you've heard people trying to sound like Aretha, and there's been plenty of Chaka singers. I haven't heard any new ones that are covering that are the new Sly Stone. Okay. I mean, to me, that just sort of seems like a piece of history that hasn't been accurately reproduced yet.
Do you think that is genre driven, seemingly because the music scene is so confused when it comes to genre? What do you think everybody is trying to gear their music to? I mean, should we continue to label or separate genres?
I think the separation of genres happens on its own. I think it's better when we don't exacerbate it.
Okay.
When we don't overemphasize it. But as far as I think there are some artists that are just one of a kind. I think there's some artists that just
Give me one.
Sly Stone.
Today, give me one.
One.
What artist out now is one of a kind?
What artist right now is one of a kind? Adele. She's pretty one of a kind. You don't hear a lot of Adele. She sort of sings her own way.
And see, I'm glad you segued into. I want to segue into Adele because, of course, and off camera we were talking about different songs, but I'm hearing Adele on R&B stations, and when I hear it, it either follows a particular song that, or it is preceding. It doesn't sound right. It's sticking out. Is it necessary for us to try to cram her into an R&B format just because the song is great?
Well, I think oftentimes when something has staggering amount of success, it goes in some places that it wouldn't have gone with the same
Right.
amount of success. Like, if you think about it, Michael Jackson's "Beat It" won the heavy metal song of the year at the Grammys. Now, there's plenty of arguments that maybe "Beat It" wasn't the top heavy
Right.
metal song, but Michael was so popular that his popularity went in some places that he might not have gone had he not been that popular. Probably the same for Adele, but Adele is, I mean, it's not like she's an untalented person that's
Right.
getting that kind of notoriety. It doesn't bother me so much with her because she's so talented.
Okay.
And what most people don't realize is even the people that you don't think deserve it, you don't realize how hard it is to get there.
Right.
There's almost always a backstory of how hard they work. So I try not to downplay or talk bad about a person's success because it's too hard to do.
Exactly.
It's too hard to do.
I had a conversation with Eddie Levert on the telephone,
Mm-hmm.
and he was telling me as successful as they've been in the business, he still has to work, for everything he continually wants to seek, So
Right.
I'm sitting there, wait a minute, you should be able to pick up a phone call and just make this happen. He said, no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. That seems to be the case. I know that, like speaking of Adele on R&B stations, it was the same thing with Rod Stewart.
Okay.
Rod Stewart, "If You Want My Body" was on
Right.
R&B stations, and that's
Hall & Oates.
Hall & Oates. There's some of that. That's okay. Long as they got talent.
Yeah.
Long as they got talent.
The last time we sat down, man, you was telling me about the Hands of Soul. What's going on with that right now?
The Hands of Soul. Well, the Hands of Soul is a nickname.
Okay.
Given to me by my brother Reggie.
Okay.
And my oldest brother Reggie, who taught me to play, and taught my youngest brother Victor how to play.
Okay.
But what I didn't know until earlier this year, he named me that because there was an old James Brown album called. It wasn't called The Hands of Soul, but it was something like that. James Brown at the organ.
Okay.
James Brown made an album where he's playing the organ, and Reggie named me from that album. So, and Reggie's good with nicknames. He's good with nicknames. He gave me that nickname and it stuck.
Now, speaking of Reggie, let me go back. How many Wootens are there?
Originally there were 5.
Okay.
From oldest to youngest is Reggie. His real name is Elijah. Reggie, a.k.a. the teacher. Roy, a.k.a. Future Man. Rudy passed away. He used to blow 2 saxophones at once. I'm second to the youngest. And then Victor on bass is the youngest.
Now, you guys, I know that sometimes you do MD for Steve Miller.
I play keyboards for Steve Miller. I don't know if I call myself the musical director. We kind of share that role, and Steve will always be the musical director of his band. I do kind of try to keep the vocals sounding tip-top.
Right.
But
So when you're doing that, and also you got your own projects, and then I know Future Man has his,
Right.
everybody. So you guys are coming up on December the 15th in New York. Tell us a little bit about that.
okay, we're playing in New York City for a organization called Dreamality.
Okay.
And it's a benefit because Dreamality, they build buildings and they have after-school programs for underprivileged kids. After-school programs that aren't just sports. Theirs are based off of the arts. So they asked us if we would headline that show, and I love to play for causes. So I called my brothers and we were all open. So we're going to do that at the Highline Ballroom on December 15th, which is my birthday.
His birthday. Okay.
My 54th birthday this year.
That's 54.
I'll be 54.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't look 54.
Well, I'm trying to take care of myself. So.
Well, I know your hype person is over here to my right, so keep me young. How often do you guys play together per year on average?
Not very often. Not very often, because Victor has his own career. Roy, a.k.a. Future Man, has his own career. I have mine. Reggie is constantly teaching. So we don't play together very often, and that's what makes this December 11th concert at 3rd and Lindsley so special, because I don't get a chance to play with my brothers very often.
Right.
So my brothers will be there, except for Victor. Victor will be in China. Victor will be in China for December 11th, but he'll be in New York City on the 15th.
Okay.
And I said China. He won't be in China. He'll be out of town, though. He just came back from China.
I hadn't made it to China yet. Some of us ain't able. I hadn't made it to China.
Yeah, so December 11th, I'll be playing, and I'll make sure that my brothers are there, and we'll play some, minus Victor, because Victor will be out of town, unfortunately. On December 15th, we'll be at the Highline Ballroom, and all 4 of the brothers will be there.
Okay, now speaking of the December 11th, because we're plugging it all over Facebook right now, tell everybody what is actually December 11th. Just give us the whole.
December 11th. Every year I do a birthday / Christmas concert.
Okay.
It started on my 50th birthday. I guess, well, this is the 5th annual. Started on my 50th birthday, and I've done one every year since. And on those concerts, I always make sure that part of the concert is a reunion for the Wooten brothers, because the Wooten brothers don't get a chance to play together very often. So that makes the night a bit more special. This year, I've got some more special guests. And
you're gonna tell us about it? Just gonna let it be special? They gotta show up.
Yeah, you gotta show up. But I just talked to a couple yesterday, and it's gonna be pretty cool. A couple really good vocalists.
Yeah, because me and my other half, and he disappointed me. I noticed it today. We were going to, we were playing on Periscope, and you at 3rd and Lindsay. By the way, December the 11th, it's at 3rd and Lindsay. What time it start?
3rd and Lindsay starts at 9:30. The doors open at 9. The show starts at 9:30.
Okay. Anyway, what we were trying to do for No Shave November. We were like, okay, we're not going to shave for November. And then I had the idea, we'll shave it right after Joseph's birthday bash. We're going to Periscope and everything. We're going to wear our old East High alumni, jackets and everything. And then I come over his house today, and I'm looking at him. Hey, man, what happened? So he shaved it off. So, yeah, we were going to make a big to-do. So we've been inviting a lot of people out. I said, look, keep your beard. Everybody come out. We're gonna make this thing crazy on December 11th.
Oh, I want to see that one myself.
Yeah. So well, he done shaved now. So I got to rely on. I got to go on Facebook and rely on my other boys. And man, don't y'all shave. Just show up. Don't y'all shave. But there's a. I remember that December 11th, the birthday Christmas bash at 3rd and Lindsay. You guys used to have a Wednesday night at the old 3rd and Lindsay. How long did that run?
That was well over 20 years. Let's see, we started that, if I remember correctly, we started at 3rd and Lindsay in 91 or 92. So 92, 2002,
you got a relationship?
23 years or something.
That's a long time to have a relationship with one venue.
That's long time. Cool. It was about the longest running, one of the longest running shows in Nashville.
Okay. Now, you also have something that is near and dear to you that I want you to elaborate on and tell everybody what that is. It's the I Matter, You Matter. What is that all about?
I Matter, You Matter is a website that I have. IMatterYouMatter.com. YOU, not just the letter U. But it's a website basically just dedicated to letting everybody know that they're important, because too often there are people that feel that they're anonymous or they don't matter. Even like it started from a song that I have called I Matter.
Okay.
And the song is for the ones that aren't the champions, the ones that have been trampled on. Maybe you don't have a home, your name is unknown, the chemically addicted, the physically constricted, the wrongfully convicted. I tried to write a song for the people that normally fall through the cracks without notice. And after I wrote the song was so powerful that I wound up doing a website, IMatterYouMatter.com. I'm just about to relaunch it any day now.
Okay.
I'm going to relaunch it, and there's footage of me talking to just random people around the country as I meet them. There's a good deal of wisdom from homeless people. There's just regular people, and I invite people to send in the people that matter to them. So you can go and see who matters to whom and see where these things are coming in from around the world. It's a pretty powerful song, and I got to say this. So the song, I was here, and I matter. Watching Empire.
Oh, really?
Right? Watching Empire.
You don't look like an Empire guy.
Well, my girlfriend watches Empire, and I caught her binge watching Empire and got hooked. But Alicia Keys and the actor that plays Jamal, they're playing their big song. What's their song say? I matter.
Really?
We matter. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Same hook, same key. Somebody's listening.
Wow. Is there a video to that song anywhere?
My song?
Yeah.
Yes. You can go to YouTube. Just search I Matter, Joseph Wooten, and you'll see mine.
Yeah, because one of the things, we were talking off camera, is like, you've been in the business so long. Why do you continue to do it?
Well, one, because a musician is who I am.
Okay.
I can't really turn it off. It's what I'm here. It's what I'm meant for, I feel. And so I keep going because I feel that I should. It seems to do people good. It does me good. I can make some changes. One thing that I notice is that musicians and artists can do what no other walk of life can do. If even the president gives the perfect speech, whomever that president is, year after year, if the president can give a perfect speech and there's somebody to come and say exactly the opposite just to muddy the water. If we have a conversation, we can go back and forth.
Right.
We can muddy the water on whatever the truth is. But if I play a song and you're moved, game is over, right? That's why politicians have music that plays after their speech, because the music can do what their speech can't do. So artists have an ability that other people don't have. And if you look through time, it's really been music and art that's moved society forward. The civil rights, they can't endure that if they don't have something to sing that shores them up. It started from, like, even on the slave ships. The slave ships, they're singing this particular scale that winds up being the basis for Negro spirituals. What a friend we have in Jesus, amazing grace. Ezekiel saw the wheel, right? That particular scale wasn't just music for them. It was perseverance, it was endurance, it was courage. From that scale, add one note, it's the blues scale, right? And now it's not just the song of the slave, it's the song of the enduring of the struggle, the singing the blues, right? Singing the blues and enduring through the struggle. From that gives us gospel, rhythm and blues, soul, and all of that come from that. Now we got funk. Funk isn't really the music of the struggle. Funk is the music of the free man, right? Funk is like soul power. Funk is thank you for letting me be myself. But I say all of that because music has this role of making us better in a way that can't be denied. Once you move somebody with music, nobody can break that. If I move you with words, somebody else can come in and muddy the subject. But think about your favorite songs. You hear your favorite song, nobody can get between you and your favorite music.
Right.
And that's, in my opinion, why do I keep going? Because being a musician is an important thing, and I feel like I do it well, and I feel like I have a knack for inspiring people. Well, look at the times we're in. People need to be inspired, right? It's a high calling. It's a high calling to be a musician. These are tough times, and tough times call for good people to be better.
Okay.
So that's why I keep going.
Well, what do you say to those who say music is in trouble right now?
Music isn't in trouble. People are in trouble.
Okay.
Right? Music will never be in trouble because music is what it is long before people encounter it. Music is fine. People are in trouble, but because we make the wrong choices. We make the wrong choices. But music is still impactful. I saw Stevie Wonder when he came to Bridgestone. I saw Stevie went home and stayed up for 2 days. I couldn't even sleep because I was moved. I was inspired. It made me want to do more. I was just charged. Stevie did. There's no politician that can do to me what Stevie did, and he did it with music. Music is so powerful. It's important for artists to do the right thing. So the fact that somehow I have ability, it's a high calling for me. Okay. It feels to me. So I stay with it, because in my small circle, I'm not like you said that, am I world famous? In my travels, I see people that get inspired by what I do, and it inspires me to do more. So I don't know what the big picture is, but when you don't know what the big picture is, your responsibility is to do the best as you can in the small picture, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, you mentioned Steve at Bridgestone, that little machine that he went in on. I don't know what that is, but it was amazing because I saw on I don't know what it was a special that they were honoring Bill Withers, and Stevie was playing that same instrument, but when you saw Bill Withers look at Stevie Wonder with so much aspiration,
right?
You try to figure out why isn't there more music today that gives that type of admiration and inspiration.
Well, I think some of it has to do. There will always be talented musicians. There are some very talented ones now. There's some very talented hip hop artists. There's very talented artists of all genres. But I think the difference, when I was growing up, there was no way for technology to do it for you.
Okay.
Right? You could either sing or you couldn't. There was no way to get a good song unless somewhere there were talented musicians and talented singers. Nowadays there's less required for you to have a song, which is good and it's bad. For a songwriter, it's good that I can go to my computer,
right,
and I don't have to go broke trying to hear my song. But in the old days, say a Motown song or a Philadelphia International song, there was a songwriter. And then the songwriter went to the arranger. And then the arranger went to the musicians. And the musicians went to the studio where there was a great producer and a great engineer. And then they put the great singer on top of that project. And this song that started from a guy and a piano or a guy and a guitar went through this refinement process that by the time you got it, you had this gem. Nowadays you have songs, oftentimes it's one guy and his computer. The song may just be heard a song last night, it was just a bass line, a finger snap, and a vocal.
Okay.
It was probably moving somebody, but there's not the same refinement process. The music that we have is simpler now. Simple has its place. But the music, in my opinion, oftentimes doesn't have the same depth because it doesn't go through the same process. You listen to those old Motown songs, those musicians, the quote-unquote funk brothers,
right?
Those were great. Those were great musicians on that track. So all the tracks were from multiple facets of greatness by the time you got it. Nowadays, oftentimes, even a great song doesn't go through that much of a process. It's one guy, his computer, and oftentimes right to your radio. And that's not either bad. That's not necessarily bad nor good, but it's certainly different.
But you're the first. You're the first that I've heard, talk about the process and how the music doesn't, necessarily go through that process it once did. And I never looked at it, from that different angle. My thing is, and what we try to do with not just country, is focus on live music.
Right.
And I'm sitting there thinking, and Hype always says as well, live music is making a comeback. I enjoy, listening to you guys play, and then I just got turned on to Tim Akers in the smoking section. The horns, the keys to sing, it's ridiculous, So
well, thank goodness in my opinion, thank goodness for Bruno Mars.
Yeah,
because for a while it felt like the music industry, popular music, was moving away from me. Like when sequencing came in and sampling, all of a sudden, who wanted to hear a live band? Right. It was all moving away. And now it's coming back again, and Uptown Funk seems to have solidified it. Now you have all these young people that are thriving to hear live music, and then they go see Bruno, and he kills it with a live show. And now, all of a sudden, here we are again. It feels like the industry is moving back towards me again. It's like music is coming back to what I've always been.
Yeah,
because live playing, you can always have an alternative to it, but you'll never get rid of it. There'll be Kindles, but they won't make the book obsolete. Right? The books still have will
Right.
always have their place, even if more people get Kindle. The same thing with live music. Sequencing comes in, sampling comes in, automation comes in, auto-tune comes in. But it doesn't replace good singing. It doesn't replace good playing. It doesn't replace a good band. It might for a while. It may for a while. But the truth will always rise to the top, eventually.
This is music education. You guys better be listening to this. Real quick, what's more important to you, songwriting or performing?
Songwriting or performing. I can't say which one is more important. I can say which one comes first.
Okay.
I'm a songwriter. I can't really shut that off. That's constantly going in my head. Performing is a choice, so I can decide whether to perform or not. Songwriting, I can't really decide not to be a songwriter because I hear music in my head all the time. Somebody says something, and it starts turning into a song. I can't cut that off. So songwriting is important to me, but playing live is important to me because expressing myself is important to me. Okay. And I feel like I have something to say. I feel like I have something worthwhile to say. And hey, I was born I got the same birthday as the Bill of Rights and the First Amendment. So,
oh wow.
So maybe I was born to speak my mind.
Okay. Now, of course, we're coming up on December 11th because we're just not able to go to New York with you guys. See you on December 15th.
Understandable.
So with the December 11th, I told you we're flooding our Facebook and social media pages
and I appreciate that very much.
with the event. But you guys have a knack of having a sold out crowd, but your music is not on radio. So it is one of those interesting things that we're trying to reach out to the everyday folks. How do you guys get the everyday folks? Because your music's not on radio, but yet
right.
you still have a sold out,
Well,
show.
there's a lot of music to be played. In general, people aren't listening to the radio as much as they used to because there's so many other sources to get your music from. I don't really worry about that part. I think we were talking earlier. What I try to do with my music is try to make sure that with my music and my life, that it makes a difference for the better. Now, my mother used to say, the world has enough good musicians, we need more good people. She wasn't really concerned about fame,
right,
talent levels, and all that kind of stuff. She knew that we would take care of the music, but she was very concerned that we were the right kind of people, and she knew that if we were the right kind of people, then whatever happened would be for a good thing. So what the reason that I think people always come to see us, I know it's this way, especially with Victor, is because whomever it is that comes out to see us, we reach out to them. And if you reach out to somebody and make a connection, they'll be fans forever. Right? I use Victor as a good example because he has a music camp out in Central Tennessee in a city called Only, Tennessee.
Really?
100 acres. And most of that was built with volunteer work. Carpenters volunteered, electricians volunteered, people brought in sinks and supplies, and they volunteered their time and their services, not because he was a great bass player, but because of the kind of person that he is. In my opinion, I think too many artists spend too much time only working to be famous and not enough time trying to work to have impact. Because fame may or may not happen, but having impact can happen. I think it's more important to have impact in a public way and to make good music. And then if people like that music, they like the person that made the music, and it means more. And it means more because too often what happens, we search where we have a quest for fame. And fame is empty unless you're not empty, right? Fame is empty unless you're not empty. And what happens with, sorry about that. What happens with a lot of people though, they get to where they're famous and they don't have this. And they go, well, man, this is really empty. Where you can, like a good example, I went to Vermont. I played a concert for veterans, second oldest veterans home in the United States.
Any brothers in Vermont?
Very few. Very few brothers in Vermont, at least not that I saw. Not that I saw. But I played, but there were some in this veterans home, right? Played a concert, second oldest veterans home. And the look on their faces, you know,
Right.
the look on their faces and the thanks that they had for me coming there playing for them is irreplaceable. I did a concert, and from that concert, they've delivered 500 blankets to homeless people. There's 500 homeless people that will have blankets this year that wouldn't have had them. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to be world famous or not, but I do know that my life will have some impact, right? Because that's the reason we want to be famous anyway. We want to be famous so that there's evidence that our career had some meaning. But there's a way for your career to have meaning without it involving thousands of people, right? You take a Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift will be here forever because of who she is. It won't just be her career will never be empty fame because of who she is underneath it. Now there are some other artists that have fame. I won't mention any names, but there are artists that have fame, and you find out that they're not very good people, and even their fame doesn't mean much.
Right.
Even their fame doesn't mean much. So we want fame so that we know that our careers mean something. What I say is, make your career mean something because fame may or may not happen.
It's always good talking to this brother. I mean, it's educational. I mean, it's fun. I enjoy just listening to, you know, his experience and things about that. Tell people why they should actually come out and see you December the 11th.
Come to see me on December 11th because the music will be live. It'll be original. There'll be some Christmas songs heard in ways that you've never heard it before, but there'll be heart. There'll be special guests. You'll get a chance to see me play with my brothers. You'll get a chance to see me play with my son. My son Jesse Wooten will be playing drums, and that's always fun to see. It's going to be live music played the way that it should be played, with heart and for you. So I hope to see you December 11th, 9:30, 3rd and Lindsley, Joseph Wooten, Hands of Soul, Christmas birthday concert.
All right, folks, there you have it. Coming from Not Just Country and the Fab and Hype Show, you know we're going to be in the building. Hey, man, again, always great to sit down.
Yeah, well, thank you. And let me thank Not Just Country for helping the rest of the country realize, the rest of the world realize that Nashville is not just country.
Yeah.